Will the police departments of Mamaroneck Town and Larchmont be merged anytime soon?
Mamaroneck Avenue stores get new tenants.
Will the A&P and Larchmont move across the border to New Rochelle?
An update on what's going to happen at Hommock's Pool.
The stone crusher at the I-95 construction site continues to make headlines. These stories and more on this about your community on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Has it said? No.
Hello and welcome to this year's first edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alyssha Miro.
And I'm Sven. Our top story.
We all have New Year's resolutions, including Larchmont and Mamaroneck. There are several high priority items to be dealt with this coming year. As you may recall, the Division of Criminal Justice Services, which gathered data from both Larchmont and Mamaroneck police forces last year, is scheduled to report its findings early this year. The study should offer recommendations on steps for merging departments. The course of action will depend on the value of saving money versus quality of police protection. For now, Larchmont is faced with renegotiations of its police officer contract, which expires in June, and cutting firefighting costs. Larchmont will also be making repairs to its village yard and renovate the Metro North parking lot. Mamaroneck Town will focus on fire department restructuring and Hommock's Pool area renovations. Both town and village will share the burden of looking deeply into the cost of government. Larchmont will continue its evaluation on the services it provides and what they cost. Expensive sewer repairs will also affect both municipalities. One thing is for sure, our government will be hard at work this year.
You may remember that in June, one student at Rhine Neck High School did not graduate because he had not performed the mandatory 40 hours of community service. The student and his parents believe that the requirement is unconstitutional, as the rights to privacy and personal liberty may be violated, as well as the parents' right to direct the education of their child. These claims had been rejected by a lower court. Last week, a three-judge panel of the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also decided in favor of the Rhine Neck School District. The student's attorney plans to take the case to the full court of the Second Circuit Court. It seems that the student will most likely not receive his high school diploma unless he performs the 40 hours of community service. Currently, he is working on a high school equivalency diploma.
The stone crusher used in the reconstruction of I-95 continues to be of concern to residents in our area. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray has the story.
A loud, stone-crushing, dust-producing machine is causing many Larchmont Mamaroneck residents to become angry. A Yonkers contracting official who owns the machine is aware of the inconvenience to residents, and he wished things could be different. To this end, however, Mamaroneck village officials are trying to enlist the governor in an effort to get rid of this machine. Also, Senator Susie Oppenheimer, Assemblyman Ron Tochi have been petitioned to aid the community. The I-95 project has been in progress for over a year. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, this is Glenna Gray.
With winter winds blowing, it may not seem like the time to be thinking about swimming pools, but Mamaroneck Town sure is. With the summer only 6 months away, the town is looking into two plans for financing an expansion of its Hommock's Pool. It plans to do this by imposing special charges for pool users. The idea is to make necessary renovations without increasing the debt to taxpayers. The additions to the recreation area, which are estimated at $400,000, would include a kiddie pool, a training pool for older children, and seating on the grass. The intention is to make the area more attractive to families and children. One financing plan calls for a 12% increase in charges for pool users, averaging out to $28,000 annually, along with the allocation of $150,000 from the town's recent land sales. The second plan would not include any monies from land sales, but a 20% increase to pool users, generating $45,000 of revenue. Both plans assume a 20-year bond at 6%. The second plan would allow more land sale dollars to go toward Hommock's athletic field improvements. The Recreation Commission is examining both plans, but a decision has not been reached as yet.
Matthew Galligan, the former village manager in Mamaroneck, has a new job as town manager in South Windsor in Connecticut. Galligan resigned in June in Mamaroneck after the Board of Trustees and he were not able to settle on a new contract. The main issue at the time, Galligan's commute was 2 hours each way and he didn't agree to move to Mamaroneck. In his new job, Galligan will earn about $80,000, according to the Daily Times. It's about $10,000 less than in Mamaroneck. His successor, Michael S. Blau, started last Tuesday as Mamaroneck's new village manager. Under his contract, he has to move to Mamaroneck within a year. Blau was village manager in Tarrytown. He will receive about the same salary as Galligan did.
In our next segment, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood talks to Art Kaplan, an international market researcher based in Mamaroneck.
The MRD stands for Marketing Research Department. Kaplan MRD is an independent marketing research department for companies with small or no marketing research departments of their own. We're an efficient alternative for companies. This way they don't have to maintain large, costly staffs. And some of the largest corporations in the world have asked us to serve as their marketing research departments.
So your Mamaroneck-based company has clients all over the world?
We operate all over the world. Yes, that's right. We have work going on right now in the Far East, in Japan, and in China. We're doing work throughout Western Europe, South America. We even have some work right now underway in Russia and Ukraine.
Well, how are you involved with Russian business?
About 4 or 5 times each year, I have meetings with groups of Russian businessmen, and we talk about ways marketing research can help them set business goals and achieve those business goals.
And you also help American businessmen understand the Russian economy?
Yes, we do. Many American companies want to do business in Russia, and we help them understand the Russian consumer and something about their ways and what their needs are. About half our business is in America.
What advice would you have for someone wanting to start their own business here in Larchmont or Mamaroneck?
Well, it's just practical, Kathryn. I think that what we do at Kaplan MRD is really value our own customers. And everything we do, every action we take is in the direction of providing value to them. And that's the best advice that I would have.
Thank you for being with us tonight, Art.
My pleasure.
Next Monday, we observe Martin Luther King Day. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray tells us more about events in our area celebrating Martin Luther King.
It has been 10 years since a day was set aside to honor the life of Martin Luther King Jr. Several pastors on the Long Island Sound marked this decade anniversary with a musical and spiritual tribute to the late civil rights leader. In our immediate community, we will have the Martin Luther King Jr. Award ceremony on Tuesday, January 16th at the Emlyn Theater. The public is invited to attend. Students' artwork and musical selections will be presented. We will be honored to hear Cantor Laurie R. Corinson of the Larchmont Temple and the Reverend E. Alexander Bauer of the Barry Avenue Church. Refreshments at 6:30 p.m. and the annual program begins at 7:15 p.m. Come out and support our community. This is Glenna Gray for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
Phyllis Whitner, the newest board member of the Mamaroneck Town Council, elected this past November, is already busy tackling a big issue in the town, the $13 million drop in the tax base over the last 6 years. The cause, residents successfully challenging the value placed on their property, seems to have affected municipalities countywide. The solution, a countywide reassessment requires approval from state legislature, but no action has taken place. Whitner is investigating what the town can do to help push the bill through. She looks forward to challenges ahead after being sworn in on New Year's Day with Supervisor Elaine Price, Town Councilman Barry Weprin, Town Clerk Patricia DiCiaccio, County Legislator George Latimer, and Town Justice Martin E. King, Jr.
Mamaroneck Village continues to work on improving the business district along Mamaroneck Avenue. The goal is to diversify the shopping area. Until a fast food restaurant moratorium was imposed about a year ago, many feared that the avenue would become a string of fast food outlets, driving traditional retail out of the area. The moratorium seems to have achieved a bit of a turnaround as new stores have been established. Under a new proposal, the village board is now considering to establish as a rule that fast food restaurants would have to be 200 feet apart. Existing ones would be exempted from the rule.
During the cold weather season, we usually get to see animals which are not obvious to us during the rest of the year. When approaching such animals, one should exercise caution. Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joan Brescia tells us why.
The Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News has always kept viewers up to date on the frequency of rabies in our area. We are aware that rabies is still a problem in Westchester County, and so we caution you to continue to be aware. Westchester recorded 55 cases in 1995, 27 more than last year. There were 1,108 cases recorded in New York State. It seems that the raccoons that survived the deadly strain of rabies in 1990 have reproduced, and so many more are now around to spread the virus. Although we are nowhere near the numbers reached in 91 and 92, it can't hurt to be aware that rabies is still out there. For the Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Joan Brescia.
The A&P store in Larchmont on Palmer Avenue may close if rumors are true that the food store chain is trying to assemble a large piece of property in New Rochelle. The area that A&P apparently is interested in is only about a mile from the current location and also on Palmer Avenue. At its current site, the store cannot expand. The largest site in New Rochelle would accommodate an expanded store. So far, A&P has not confirmed any moving plans, and local governments have not yet been contacted by the food retailer.
Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray took a close look at the activities at the Larchmont Post Office during the holiday season. Glenna?
Where is there more junk mail delivered than at your house? Right, the post office. LMC-TV visited the Larchmont station during the Christmas rush. From the lobby and the 3 retail counters, we observed the process your mail goes through. First you drop it, and it's on its way. There are multiple sorting areas in which carriers organize the mail. Another area is used to cancel the stamps, so each stamp may only be used once. The computer age is, of course, in the post office. The computers are used for retail transactions as well as for linking 10538 to other stations and to the central post office. The parking lot is a bustling place. Traffic is constantly going in and out. It is as busy as the front desk because of the incoming and outgoing mail. Remember, use the zip code to speed your mail on the way. For Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community Television, this is Glenna Gray.
And those guys were really busy during those couple of weeks.
I dumped a lot of mail in there.
But it was really nice that they had longer times when they were open.
That's true.
That probably helped the crunch. Last year's winter was really an easy one. This one has already brought us more snow and cold temperatures. It's time to ask our very own Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News weatherman, Ed Muir, what to expect during the second week of January.
Well, we'd already received more snow before the official start of winter than we did all of last winter, and with all the snow days, kids in Mamaroneck and Rhinebeck may be cutting into their vacation. So it's only fitting that there should be some snow in this forecast, and I won't disappoint, there is a little bit. But The key word is that it's a little bit, because the storm that's coming this time is going to move a little bit farther to our south. So we're just going to be on the northern edge of it. So places that got rain last time, like D.C. and Richmond, Virginia, are going to get the real bulk of the snow before it moves off to sea and then takes a northeastward turn off the coast. But behind it, of course, we're going to get the northwesterly winds, the chilly air for the rest of the week, and then a weak system is going to move in here Thursday, giving us another chance for light snow. But again, the key word there is light. So the 5-day forecast looks something like this. Monday, we do see that chance for snow, especially early in the day, high of only 28 degrees, but chillier yet, only 26 degrees, but it does partially clear out on Tuesday, partly cloudy once again on Wednesday, high of 25 degrees, chance for just light snow on Thursday, high of 28 degrees, and then we end up the week on a partly cloudy note, high of 26 degrees. So this winter is already setting up the way we saw the winter 2 years ago, except that the snow this year has already started earlier than that one. But it's tough to tell what the rest of the winter is going to hold, because long-term forecasting is haphazard at best, as evidenced by the Farmer's Almanac, which had predicted a very warm December and January for these parts. So really the only thing you can do is just try and keep warm and drive carefully, and if it's getting you down, just try and think that spring is only 2.5 months away. So till next time, for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Ed Muir. Enjoy the weather.
Oh, it seems like another cold week.
Yeah, just again and again and again, it's cold and snowy. And I guess the problem is that the local schools have already used up all the days that they usually allowed for snow.
Is it 3 or 4 days?
In Mamaroneck, I guess it's 2 days, and they've used 4 already. And in the Rhinebeck School District, they also have 2 days, but they've used 3 already.
Well, if it continues to be snowy and icy, they just can't open the schools, and they'll have to cut into the Easter break, I think it is.
And that's not good either.
Can you do better safe than sorry?
That's right. In an effort to increase the safety of passengers on Metro-North trains, the railroad will allow pre-registered police officers to ride the trains free. The officers who take part in the program will not be required to wear a uniform or carry a gun. The officers have to live in the area served by the trains, and they're also asked to identify the trains that they will most likely be using. This new program may start as early as February.
Well, the work at the Methodist Church in Mamaroneck is almost complete. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood updates us in her report.
225 years ago, Francis Asbury, a Methodist evangelist, first preached at the Village Tavern Green in Mamaroneck. The main building of Mamaroneck's United Methodist Church is the only structure in Mamaroneck which is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. But the paint on the facade began to peel, water damaged the slate roof and the structure itself, and then the 2,000-pound church bell crashed down from the steeple. So the church and the Mamaroneck Historical Society raised $500,000 for the restoration of the outside of the church. Now that the outside restoration is complete, restoration will begin on the inside. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
In our next story, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy takes us to Earth Smarts on Mamaroneck Avenue. The store recently moved from the corner of Boston Post Road and Mamaroneck Avenue to its new location.
Hello, here we are at Earth Smarts on Mamaroneck Avenue, and I'm here with Lee. Hi, Lee. Can you tell me why you moved?
Well, there's an old saying in retail that the 3 most important things are location, location, and location.
Well, I hear it now. It's very soothing, and you can listen to the music as you're shopping?
Oh, we have a few different ways of listening. We have a display over there which is playing all the time, and then these are for people to listen to these different pieces. These are all by a composer in Maine.
It looks like here we have some cleaning fluid.
Yep.
You sell by the ounce?
Well, yes, these are all bulk products, and people can, after they've used up their container of liquid laundry detergent, they can come and refill the container. So for the environment, it's better that they're using the container over and over again.
Giving out, and the cider is flavored with natural essential oils. Let's see. There's ginger, clove, nutmeg, and cinnamon. It's hot, but it's very good. It's very sweet.
We have probably 200 or 300 different styles of beads. A lot of them are actually antique African trade beads, but people love to come in and make their own bracelets and necklaces and earrings, and we really have all of the supplies that they need.
Do you sell the strings and clasps?
Oh, the strings and the clasps and the ear wires for making earrings and head pins and really just everything that they need.
It looks like you can really get creative with the beads here. Thank you very much for telling us all about your store, Earth Smart.
Thanks for coming in.
I'm Sharon Levy from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
The Pace Center, which is located right next to our studio here at the Mamaroneck High School, recently received an award, an important award. And to tell us more about it, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy.
PACE, which stands for the Performing Arts Curriculum Experience, is one of the most picked electives by the Mamaroneck High School students. The PACE program, along with the high school's art department, was named one of the 10 best public school art programs in the United States by the Rockefeller Brother Fund. PACE is open to all students. It is a 4-year sequential program. Classes are offered in video, music, dance, and drama. The PACE program is recommended for students considering a career that requires problem solving, teamwork, clear thinking, and effective speaking. The term talent is not used in the PACE department. The teachers say that the performing arts are for everyone. Students are evaluated on commitment, energy, and participation in the group. The Board of Education and the community are proud of the PACE department. I'm Sharon Levy for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
That ends this week's edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. You can watch this news show Monday through Saturday at about 12 noon and also at about 7 in the evening.
And on some nights, the show also comes on between 11 and midnight. Or you can request it on LMC's Request TV. Just call Studio 2 at 381-0131. After 3 p.m., you can call the Palmer Avenue studio at 698-6808 and request that the news show be put on the air especially for you. It may just be a couple of minutes.
All of us who work on this program are volunteers, and there's always room for new people who'd like to join us. It's a fun way to get involved in community affairs, and in addition, you can learn about television news.
We start putting together this program every Thursday night at about 7 p.m. You'll find us in LMC's Palmer Avenue studio, which is in the Mamaroneck High School building, right up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand on Palmer Avenue.
Also, if you have a story or some video which you think we might like to use on this program, come by on a Thursday night and we'll most likely use your story. If you have any comments, suggestions, or some criticism but can't come on a Thursday night, you can also send us a letter. The address, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, New York, 10543. Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Sven Oehme.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Join us again next week on this channel, Channel 14.
And stay warm.
Very warm.
It's cold weather.
I know. It was bitter cold today.
blizzard of '96 takes us all by storm.
Get ready for Trump Tower 2. David's Island is sold.
Larchmont gets a new trustee after a surprising resignation.
Accolades continue to pour in for former village justice Zingesser.
Albany considers an effort to fire a Mamaroneck school official.
We visit a new restaurant and get a flavor for the extraordinary.
And let's not forget this week's weather. All those stories and more on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story?
Of course, the blizzard of '96. And will we ever forget our commute on Metro North? Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme has the story.
For commuters on Metro North, mass transit turned into mess transit last week. Almost everyone has a story to tell about sitting, or rather standing, on trains for hours stuck somewhere in the Bronx or in the Pelham area, on trains without lights nor heat. As one commuter put it, I was on a train where we were packed, not like sardines, but like anchovies, and even tighter fit. He was stranded in the Bronx for hours. On Tuesday, commuters at Mamaroneck and Larchmont were bypassed by trains which were already packed with passengers. Commuters in Mamaroneck had the advantage that the station was open and warm, and the attendant at the ticket office announced trains. Another nightmarish experience coming back from Manhattan. One had to go through Grand Central Terminal packed with waiting commuters. One couldn't help but be reminded of the '60s when people tried to see how many people one can fit into a Volkswagen. There was not much to do but endure these hardships of commuting, but one does wonder why Metro North was not in a position to better handle the snow. Before we taped this program, Metro North's spokeswoman Marjorie Anders told me that as of last Thursday, out of a total of 800 railroad cars, 300 were under repair, with most of the damage caused by the weather. Also, not all tracks and switches had been cleared from the snow and ice. And here's a final comment. With all this talk by the railroad about failing equipment, one has to wonder whether the railroad has the right and suitable equipment. What good is a railroad that doesn't run, especially at a time when the governor is pleading for people to leave the cars at home and take the train?
Amidst all the snow, one local Metro North trainmaster saw sparks. John Green of Larchmont suffered a potentially fatal electric shock last week when he tried to make repairs on a malfunctioning train. Police and firefighters responded around 7 p.m. and found Green, who was electrocuted with 600 volts, conscious but complaining of dizziness and pain. After stabilizing him, Green was taken to New Rochelle Hospital Medical Center and released the following day. The accident did cause 10 to 15-minute delays on the already delay-plagued New Haven line, but the most important thing is that the trainmaster is home recuperating.
After quite an electrifying experience, the Donald finally has his island off New Rochelle, the former Fort Slocum, and these days referred to as David's Island. Maybe the name will change to Donald's Island. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood has the story.
The New Rochelle City Council has finally voted to give Donald Trump exclusive rights to develop David's Island. Trump has agreed in concept to pay the city of New Rochelle 1 penny less than $13 million for the island. Trump admits to being superstitious and says he doesn't believe in the number 13. He will pay $3 million more than he had planned to for the island, but he has been given a longer time to pay it off. However, there have been some changes in the plans for the development. Trump is now planning to build 47 mansions and plans to add 15 waterfront townhouses, and there will be no public access to the island. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
Less than a year after being elected to a 2-year term, Ava Birdsell, one of 2 Republicans on the Larchmont Board of Trustees, has resigned. Birdsell, a longtime volunteer in the community schools, announced her decision to leave the board in a letter dated December 31st. The resignation took effect immediately. Mayor Sharon will has chosen a new trustee to serve until the next village elections in March. Since Birdsell was elected last March for a 2-year term, whoever runs for the seat in the spring will only run for a one-year term. Brescia beat out 2 Democrats to maintain the 3-2 balance of Democrats to Republicans, and former trustee Marion White asked Mayor Louie to select another Republican, Jeff Young, to finish Brescia's term. Young, a former trustee and a current member of the Mamaroneck Budget Advisory Committee, ran unsuccessfully last year for Larchmont Village Justice. Louie, however, has made her decision. Democrat Mary Ann Muma will take the seat left by Brescia. Muma has been active in the community and plans to run for the seat in March. Local Republicans are no doubt upset, but as Mayor Louie put it in the Daily Times, trustee seats are not held by parties, but by individuals chosen on their merit.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Human Rights Commission Award, given annually to a deserving citizen in our area. For more, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Welcome, Mr. David Vaughn. You are this year's recipient of the Martin Luther King Jr. Award. You have lived out the philosophies of Dr. King. And I know from your neighbors you have done many wonderful things in your community, and you are a native son. Could you tell us a little bit, because I know you've done so much, about your volunteer work in Mamaroneck?
Well, yes, it's an honor to have been chosen for the award, and I want to thank those in the committee and Mike Sedano and a few others that have been very responsible for putting my name forward. To be recognized for something that you've done, that you've enjoyed, is kind of special, but I've enjoyed the years so very, very much. When I think of starting out and volunteering for various things in the village of Mamaroneck, I started out in the Recreation Commission in 1964. I was 24 years old, and Dorothy Allensworth and the Recreation Commission at that time thought that I could help and be a part of the Recreation Commission and offer something to the community. I didn't think so, because I didn't know very much about what was going on concerning the Recreation Commission. I participated in recreation programs, but to administer them, I wasn't really that involved.
I hear that you're also a fireman.
Well, I've served the village as a fire chief. I've been a part of Mamaroneck Volunteer Fire Department since 1970. I'm in my 25th year, I'll be 26 in June. And serving as chief was a special honor, and just to serve the village in that respect has been absolutely spectacular. It's very rewarding to do that service.
Also the school system, you've helped out there.
Well,
don't be bashful.
I volunteered some time ago for the School Board Selection Committee, the committee that selects the various candidates to serve on the school board. I also served as a Student Aid Fund committee member, and we were responsible for bringing forth residents to receive the community awards and student aid funds for their college.
So everything you've done has been so aimed directly at individuals and making individuals more content and more happy in your town of Mamaroneck. And you truly have, even if you don't think about it.
It's easy. There's so many
you
people.
have lived out Martin Luther King's philosophy. And we are delighted that you are the recipient this year. We'll see you on Tuesday at the Emlyn Theater. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaughn.
With all the recent snowfall, local municipalities are forced to look at their budgets. Snow removal costs are always a part of community spending and usually depend on how kind or cruel Mother Nature is. The budget set up by local government isn't always on the money. Larchmont Mamaroneck Village, whose budgets run from June to May, are in tough spots. Larchmont's recent salt purchase put it $6,000 over its $15,000 budget for supplies. Mamaroneck Village Supervisor of Village Works, Jim Maxwell, predicts they'll be over budget as well if the winter keeps up with its brutal beating. Mamaroneck Town, whose budget runs January through December, has new funds for snow removal and seems to be doing well. With 60% of the winter left, we're all praying for an early spring. Local summit in the tri-municipal area. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy has more.
The local summit has meetings regularly. The local summit is made up of a group of Mamaroneck and Larchmont residents that are working together on making the community a better place. The local summit hopes to publish a brochure describing local human service organizations and volunteer opportunities. The local summit hopes to help high school seniors learn how to get a job, mentor fourth grade students, assist a social service agency, and alert adult job seekers of a new bank career training program. The local summit's first job last year was to host a dialogue on poverty and Ahmed affluence. This was attended by 200 people. From that meeting, the local summit began its current program. The Diverse People Committee holds their meetings with the local summit on certain occasions. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Sharon Levy.
TCI, the cable company that brings you this and all the other cable channels you watch in Larchmont and Mamaroneck, is planning to eliminate the present community county programming on Channel 8 beginning February 1st. The company says it needs to do this in order to bring the Kingston, New York regional news channel to this area. Some critics of this move feel TCI should use Channel 3 instead of Channel 8 because all the Channel 3 has is promotion for the other TCI channels and pay-per-view events. Some other officials in other communities say this kind of action by TCI points up the need for competition in cable TV. In any event, it appears we'll be able to see WRNN-TV from Kingston, New York, beginning February 1st. And that means also seeing an alumni of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Former anchor of this very show, Julie Auclair, will be on WNNR. A big award for a local teen. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy has the story.
20 theater students were selected as winners of the National Foundation for the Advancement of the Arts Scholars. Thea Connors, a senior at Mamaroneck High School, one of my friends, was one of the winners. 1,000 students applied for this theater scholarship. The 20 winners competed in Miami, Florida, January 10th, 11th, and 12th, for awards ranging from $1,000 to $5,000. In Miami, the students also participated in a week of photo shoots and performing art workshops. Thea Connors plans to attend New York University in the fall. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Sharon Levy.
The New York State Department of Education in Albany says that a petition to remove the Mamaroneck School District's Assistant Superintendent for Operations, Sarah Tate, is now under review by a judicial team of the department. A frequent critic of the district's spending policies, Max Eaglefeld of Mamaroneck, filed a petition last September. Among the charges he made against Sarah Tate are that she failed to report a nearly $24,000 insurance rider and $6,300 premium paid to former Superintendent Norman Kolb, and also with failing to obtain the required number of bids from contractors. Sarah Tate has already denied the charges by Eaglefeld, and School Board President Penny Oberg issued a statement of support for Tate. A decision from Albany could take anywhere from a month to a year.
Report now on the records of students' education from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood.
3 years ago, teachers from Mamaroneck Central School developed a Child Study Center which houses a portfolio for each student in the school. These portfolios include samples of art, math, and even videos of the students' participation in performing arts and in sports. These portfolios help the parents and the teachers to look at the development of the whole child rather than just looking at the test scores. Although each student has a portfolio, only students who have begun kindergarten at the school during the last 3 years will have a complete collection. The plan is to give each student their portfolio when they graduate from Central School. The center was funded by the district, but also received a grant from the Reader's Digest Foundation. The Child Study Center is used by students, parents, and teachers. Teachers even use the center as the setting for a course in teaching other teachers more about observing and evaluating students. Next month, we will provide an inside look at the Child Study Center when one of the Central School teachers joins us here in the studio. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
Local parents will be interested in this next item. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joan Brescia has an interview with a learning expert, also known as a child motivator.
Could you tell us a little bit about what Empowered Learning is about?
Sure. Empowered Learning is a parenting and educational network. What we try to do is make parents aware of their important role in their child's educational and emotional development.
Okay. Can you give some parents who are listening suggestions about what to do when their children are giving them a bit of difficulty with, let's say, homework?
Okay, well, one thing I'll explain is that the parent is their child's first and most important teacher, and the home is the child's first and most important learning environment. So you really want to have a good communication with your children. One of the biggest problems with regard to homework, helping your child with homework, is a lack of good communication between the parent and the child. That's why so often it turns into yelling and screaming matches.
I know, I used to think 4 o'clock was the witching hour in everyone's home. Peter, I understand you have a TV show, not a TV show, a radio show, a call-in show. Can you tell our audience a little bit about that?
Sure. It's on every Wednesday between 6 and 7, and we film with the Board of Education in New York at their radio station. It's a live call-in show where we bring parenting and educational experts to really make parents aware of their important role in their child's development.
Can you give us an example of what types of guests you have on?
For example, our most recent guest was Madeline Kunin, the Deputy Secretary of Education for the United States, as well as Bruce Toff, who is the head of Project Zero for Harvard's research on multiple intelligences.
That's so interesting. It's great to have this information at your fingertips for parents to use and enjoy. Prodigy, I understand you're online in the internet.
That's correct. We have taken over Prodigy's educational and parenting content. We run weekly chat sessions for parents, and twice monthly we have auditoriums where, again, we bring parenting and educational experts to be asked questions of the listeners.
That's great. So if I have a problem or I want to further know about something, I can actually either call into your show on a Wednesday night or tap right into the computer.
Prodigy.
That's wonderful.
You can email us, you can ask us any question, and we'll get back to you with an answer from an expert.
That's wonderful, Peter. Lifelong learning. Could you tell us what your theory is on that?
Sure. Well, we try to promote is that the parent develop a love of learning in children, so they become lifelong learners. In the world today, children have to be prepared to retool themselves throughout their entire life. Unfortunately, in the past, adults, when they finish their education, stop learning. They don't expand their knowledge base. What we want to do is instill that love of learning so a child will learn for the rest of their lives.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure.
I really would like to have you back on this show.
It'd be my pleasure.
Thank you.
The saga of the Rhinebeck student and his battle against compulsory community service continues. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray has the latest.
Involuntary servitude versus community service. Recently, the Second United States Circuit Court of Appeals decision reaffirmed Rhinebeck High School's right to require community service. The student who refused to do the service did not graduate with his class. He plans to take the equivalency examination. Throughout the county, various schools encourage students to do volunteer work as a part of their educational process. The Libertarian Institute for Justice in Washington is representing teenagers and their parents in various lawsuits against the school systems. They hope to have one of the cases reach the Supreme Court. This is Glenna Gray for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News.
LMC Online, the computer age, continues to bring more high-tech to your home via this cable channel. And Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme has the story with an interview. Joe Windish, Executive Director of LMC-TV.
Joe, LMC-TV is starting a new venture, LMC Online. What is that all about?
Okay, convergence of television, telephones, and computers. We're on television. So we decided to dabble a little in computers. We started a computer bulletin board last year to see if we could do it and if it would catch on. It caught on, and through a partnership with an internet provider, Network Navigation, we have started an online service now. So it features internet access, fast internet email, internet news groups, and a private, discrete, local place for our community to get online.
So by using LMC Online, you can actually get on the internet, for instance.
Well, actually, what we do with LMC Online, every household gets a free account for 30 minutes a day. And through that account, you do get very fast internet email connection. We also have selected internet news groups coming soon. So you get some sampling of the internet on the local service. The actual internet, if you want the graphic user interface and all the rest of the internet, the World Wide Web that we want, that you do pay for, and you pay that to Network Navigation, who is the partner, and it is reasonable.
anyone interested, and we hope that lots of people will be interested, and what do they have to do? How do they get in contact? How do they get on there?
Right. Actually, there's been some problems with the change. I should say there's a new number. Anyone who hasn't gotten the new, who does have the software now and who has the old number, the new telephone number is 421-1315. If you don't have the software, the easiest way is to stop at either studio, come in and pick it up. Bring us a disc and we'll give you a disc. Or if you really want and you don't have a disc, we'll give you the disc and we'll say, please pass it on to a friend. And instructions on how to install it in your computer.
And we'll also have special programs on LMC-TV.
Right, we're going to do programs on LMC-TV. It's interesting, again, why did LMC-TV do this? We want to be a community communications place, and we're facilitating the use of technology for building community. This is another technology.
Well, I hope everyone decides to log on.
Log on via LMC-TV. I haven't done that yet, but maybe I'll give it a try.
Well, the weatherman wants to remind all our viewers that he only tells you what the heavens are expected to shower upon us. He's not responsible for the actual results.
Easy for him to say.
Yes. And with that introduction and a promise not to repeat the blizzard of '96 anytime soon, here's our very own Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News weatherman, Ed Muir.
Well, if it isn't one thing, it's certainly another. After yet another winter storm this past weekend, the story this week isn't going to be the snow so much, although we will get a little bit of that, of course, but it's going to be the cold. After this latest storm moves out to sea, we're going to get a wraparound effect of northwesterly winds. It's going to keep us in a deep chill for a few days. That, along with a reinforcement of cold air from Canada, is going to give us another chance for flurries. So put all those facts together, and we are ensured that our blanket of white is going to be here until further notice. So the 5-day forecast looks something like this, pretty chilly. Monday, partly cloudy, but add a chance for flurries or even snow showers, high of only 24 degrees though. Partly cloudy, high of about 26 on Tuesday, and wow, we might hit 30 on Wednesday under sunny skies, but then Thursday it's cloudy, chance for light snow, maybe high of about 28 degrees, and then we end up the note on a chillier note, once again, partly cloudy, high of only 26 degrees. So the blizzard of '96 may be over, but we're still digging out, and the facts are staggering. New York City saw its third heaviest snowfall on record, and Philadelphia and several other cities saw their most 24-hour total ever. And some really interesting facts about the breadth of the storm. Albany, right about here, got only about 4/10 of an inch of snow, but just 45 miles away in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, they got 32 inches. So there was a very stark cutoff. And also because the snow was very dry and fluffy. It was about 20 degrees while it was snowing, but if it had been 30 degrees, we would have gotten 10 fewer inches because the snow was so dry, and so there was a lot of air in between. And of course, there were the school closings, and the kids at this point may be going to school until July. The way this winter is going, it may be fast approaching the prodigious winter of '93-'94. July school dates may not be such an overstatement in a few weeks. So till next time, for Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Ed Muir. Enjoy the weather.
Thanks, Ed. Promises, promises. Some new shops have opened in our area. Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy has the details on one of the latest. It's called The Ritz.
Hello, here I am at the Ritz, the new store on Mamaroneck Avenue, and I'm here with the owner, Jana Ritz. Jana, where did the name The Ritz come from?
Well, I was born with the name Ritz, and it was actually my father's stage name.
These great clocks you have here on the wall.
Well, the clocks are from the 1950s, and they, I think, represent an interesting time period in the century of advertising and graphic design. And they are all original. And
how much would a lamp like this be?
This is about $1,300. Heated lampshade, which is actually new, but the base is old. So a lot of times I'll mix new and old, or show people how to take an old piece that you would think otherwise is worth nothing, and really how to use it in your home and enjoy it. We have a lot of fun barware from the 40s and 50s. I have these great telephones from Europe that have been completely redone, and they come with a year warranty. These were hot items over Christmas. I have these crates of seltzer bottles that are from the 20s and 30s, and they still work. You can find people to fill them up.
This is a great machine. Does this machine still work?
Absolutely. Got a nickel?
I got one.
Put it in.
Great. Well, I'm Sharon Levy from Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News. I'm here at the Ritz on Mamaroneck Avenue. And let's see if this thing works. So you put it right, where do you do it? Right in here?
That's it.
The accolades and fond remembrances continue to surface for former Mamaroneck Village Justice Louis Zingesser, who died December 20th at the age of 93. Many say Zingesser lived Mamaroneck. His family settled in this area shortly after his birth in 1902 in the Ukraine. He attended the Old Depot School, Mamaroneck Avenue Elementary School, and Mamaroneck High School. After graduating from Syracuse University, he became the Mamaroneck Village Attorney from 1929 to 1932 and was the acting police justice from 39 to 41 and again from 54 to 58. Zingesser practiced law in Mamaroneck for more than 60 years and served as village justice for 18 years from 1962 to 1980. Current village justice Richard Lanza is quoted in the Daily Times saying, "Zingesser was always interested in anything that in any way, shape, or form pertained to the village of Mamaroneck. He truly loved everything about it." The president of the Mamaroneck Historical Society, Donald March, says the society will host a cable TV show on LMC-TV about Zingesser's life. Other tributes of Zingesser are under consideration. That's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this news program and you would like to see it in its entirety, you can.
This program is aired every weekday, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. and again around 11 p.m.
Not just that, during the day you can call up LMC-TV at Studio 2 at 381-0131. That's 381-0131 and ask to see this week's news program. And the crew at LMC-TV will put your request into action at the first available time period, which often is only a matter of minutes. And then you can see and catch up with the week's news. Remember, the number to call during the day is at 381-0131 and request to see the news show. At night, call 698-6808 and ask for Request TV.
Don't forget that this program is an all-volunteer effort by your neighbors, and you might want to help put together this fun community activity. There's plenty to do both behind and in front of the camera. Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night in the LMC-TV studio. We're located in the Palmer Avenue side of Mamaroneck High School, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand.
If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, 10543. Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. As we leave you, we'll take a look at a few of the sights of the blizzard of '96.
Well, there'll be sites that this area will not forget for some time. Thanks to Joe Jablonowski and some other staffers of the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News team for taking and sharing this video postcard. Mamaroneck Town sets a moratorium for adult entertainment clubs, and Mamaroneck Village sets a moratorium on auto shops.
A memorial for Murray Avenue teacher Aileen Cushy.
Mamaroneck Town may foreclose on the Sarah Newman Nursing Home.
MTA discounts are scheduled for March.
Protest against TCI's new Channel 8.
Illegal snow dumping is discovered at Harbor Island.
These stories, along with our local weather and some winter driving tips on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Hello and welcome to another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story, Mamaroneck Town wants to think over a sexy issue, adult entertainment clubs. The story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme and an interview with Town Councilman Paul Ryan.
There is now a moratorium on adult entertainment.
Well, the town board is considering a moratorium while we research the laws and ordinances of other municipalities. February 21st, I believe, 28th.
February 28th. Yeah. And the moratorium would be for a half a year? Or?
It would be a 6-month moratorium while we research the subject. Other communities in Westchester are contemplating the same thing that we are, notably Ardsley and Greenberg. So we've gotten their draft legislation and are examining that closely. So.
See, the date for the public hearing is February 28th.
You've probably noticed there are more than just a few auto repair and body shops in the industrial zone of Mamaroneck Village. It's the area between the thruway and the railroad track, sandwiched between Rockland and Mamaroneck Avenues. Village officials have noticed as well and are concerned that there may be too many. Village trustee Todd Noble is quoted in the Daily Times saying, "We need to figure out how to manage this." As a result, the village board voted a 6-month ban on any new auto body and repair shops in the industrial zone. It's not the first moratorium imposed in the village. Last fall, timeout was called on fast food establishments opening on Mamaroneck Avenue. At this stage, it's difficult to assess just how many auto repair shops would be acceptable in the village. A task force has to be formed to study the situation during the 6-month moratorium and come up with some ideas about how the future business landscape of the industrial zone of Mamaroneck Village should look. Stay tuned.
The illegal dumping of snow has caused Mamaroneck Village to suspend Mamaroneck-based Suburban Carting Corp. from working on any further snow removal. Suburban was hired to clear snow away after the blizzard of '96, but they were found bringing it in as well. There will be a review of the situation, which was discovered last week. The incident involved Suburban dumping snow from another municipality into the village of Mamaroneck's Harbor Island Park. Village manager Michael Blau says Suburban will not be contacted to remove snow for the village at this point in time. And Mayor Joseph Alonza has called for Blau and the Board of Trustees to begin an investigation. We'll have more on this heaping story as it develops.
Remember the phrase, "How am I doing?" Well, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy has a report on how our communities did in snow removal this month. Sharon, fill us in on the survey.
The blizzard of '96 went into the record books as one of the worst snowstorms ever in these parts. How was the snow removal at your house? Gannett Suburban Newspapers sponsored a call-in survey. Residents of communities along Westchester's Long Island Sound shore were asked to rate their hometowns' cleanup as either great, good, or awful. Most people rated the snow removal as awful in this survey. It appears that Sound Shore communities did pretty well. Others have some work to do. Everyone that called from New Rochelle said the snow removal was beyond awful. John Rodriguez of Loon Lane said everyone in Larchmont should be complimented compared to the horror story of New Rochelle. Generally, larger communities with more roads and more on-street parking did worse in ratings compared with the smaller communities. The Mamaroneck Town and Larchmont residents split 3-2, with the majority praising the snow removal there. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I am Sharon Levy.
Foreclosure proceedings are being activated by the town of Mamaroneck against the Sarah Newman nursing home. The town charges that Sarah Newman's operators reneged on a promise to pay hundreds of thousands in taxes. More from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme and an interview with Mamaroneck Town Councilman Paul Ryan.
Operating under a court order several years back, Sarah Newman Nursing Home, after they went not for profit, agreed on a settlement that amounted to about $408,000 that the town has already collected on behalf of the county and the Mamaroneck School District. So we've gotten the money from taxpayers, we've shelled it out of taxpayer money, and now they won't pay it. So we've, I think, exhausted all other means except foreclosure in order to get the money back into the town's coffers.
Well, what does that mean for the people who actually live at the nursing home?
I would say it means relatively little, if anything at all. It's a tax proceeding according to the tax lien law, and we'd just like to get our money as quickly as possible. They are the largest delinquent taxpayer in the town, so we'd like to get that off the books as soon as possible.
I guess another aspect when we talk about taxes is the cost of the snow removal. How did the town fare?
The town fared very well. The town crews were out nonstop under our superintendent of highways guidance, that's Shimon Gitlitz. Unfortunately, the one storm, the storms so far have eaten up about 42% of our budget for this fiscal year. And we really haven't gotten into the meat of the winter. Late January and February are traditionally our worst. But, we're hoping for a milder winter for the rest of it. And the streets were plowed. They did a fantastic job. And
is there any, because I remember about, I think 2 years ago, there was a shortage of salt. Is that also happening this year?
No, I think
enough salt?
I think everybody learned their lesson 2 years ago. So we had more than adequate supplies of sand and salt. And thankfully, we haven't gotten into that freeze-thaw cycle that we did before, where it's every night for about 2 weeks. We were out trying to remedy the situation. In some ways, a large snowfall like we had is a lot easier, And now the blessed fog and rain is taking care of a lot of it.
Beginning a week from Thursday, February 1st, the operators of this cable system, TCI, plan to change the programming of Channel 8. It currently airs public access programs countywide. The plan is to drop the public access and pick up programming from a news channel in Kingston, New York, and put that on Channel 8. Enough Westchester residents were upset enough to demonstrate in front of TCI. More on the protest from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Last week, the people spoke loudly and clearly in front of the TCI office building. In between musical selections and legal announcements, many producers of public access TV shows picketed for the use of one system-wide public access channel for the TCI area. Bill Sears, who was dubbed King of Producers, protested against one of the largest cable companies in America. Mr. Sears believes TCI is not fulfilling their responsibility by forcing the 17 public access users to carry their shows from one community to another. TCI intends to eliminate the one system-wide channel which allowed all 17 areas to use. The demonstrators believe their constitutional right of freedom of speech is being attacked.
We feel that they're trying to pull a fast one on us, the TCI Corporation, but we're not going to take it. We're going to fight for our freedom of speech that we feel they are denying us at this time.
Our thanks to Charlie Guerreri for the video on the TCI demonstration story.
Sentencing of Maurice Zamore-Bouche, the former head teller of First Fidelity in Mamaroneck that robbed a Mamaroneck woman of almost $37,000, has been postponed. Bush's lawyer, Uriel Grivitz, did not appear in court on January 12th due to weather conditions. As you may recall, Bush, along with her accomplice, Orleen Rosnard, the victim's former home health aide, stole the 92-year-old woman's bank book and forged withdrawal slips, depleting the account of $36,738.60. Both women pled guilty to third-degree grand larceny. Rosnard was sentenced to 5 years probation in October after returning $12,000 and will repay the remainder over her probation period. It is expected that Bush will receive a similar sentence, but that will have to be determined at her newly rescheduled sentencing on January 26th.
The March 19th village elections are not all that far away, and if you're a Mamaroneck Village Democrat, listen up. All registered Democrats are invited to attend the Democratic Caucus next Tuesday night, January 30th at 7:30 p.m. in the community room of the Mamaroneck Public Library. The purpose of this caucus is to elect candidates to run on the party ticket in the March 19 election. Mamaroneck Village will elect 3 trustees to the village board and also fill 1 village justice position.
Save those monthly commuter tickets. They could be worth something. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme explains.
Metro-North commuters continue to complain about the poor service of the railroad during the week of the big snowstorm. While the trains are running again and operations are back to pre-snowstorm standards, the railroad's management is still under fire. One result of the constant onslaughts, New York State Governor George Pataki prodded Metro-North to refund weekly and monthly ticket holders. Commuters with a January commutation ticket will be given a 25% refund on a monthly ticket, probably in March. For the Larchmont and Mamaroneck commuters, the monthly commutation ticket in March should cost about $100. Those with a weekly pass for the week of the storm will be given a free weekly ticket. And a number of details of the refund still have to be worked out, and we'll keep you posted on this program. It's important that you hold on to your monthly or weekly commutation ticket to obtain a refund. At a meeting with local politicians at the railroad's Croton-on-Hudson yard, Metro-North's president Donald D. Nelson said that among other things that failed or went wrong during the storm, a crucial problem was the design of the shoe which picks up the power from the third rail. The shoes used on many of the cars were not designed for operating in severe snow and ice. The more sophisticated design has a corrugated surface which drastically improves the ability to pick up the power. Towards the end of the week of the snowstorm, Metro-North trains were refitted with the new shoe. During the next major snowstorm, this is to improve operations at the railroad significantly. Total costs of the storm for the railroad are between $6 to $8 million, and that includes the refund.
Okay, I'm going to go home and get my ticket. And when can we cash them in, I wonder?
Well, from Sven's report, it looks like March is the time frame.
Okay. Larchmont's mayor and Mamaroneck's town supervisor, they plan to begin a radio call-in show over New Rochelle's WVOX. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Mayor Cheryl Louie and Town Supervisor Elaine Price will be on WVOX at 1460 AM radio. The 2 executives will discuss live local issues and respond to questions or comments. The Louie half-hour show will air the first Friday of every month at 11 a.m., beginning February 2nd. Elaine Price will be on the 4th Monday of each month at 11:30 a.m. The shows were developed in order to offer a forum for residents, especially those who are unable to attend town and village meetings. Another new show featuring the mayors and supervisor will be aired right here on LMC-TV. The first show will be on Wednesday at 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. They will discuss intermunicipalities and everything that's involved.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme takes a look at how the winter's snowstorms and cold weather may affect our water supplies and our heating oil.
With all the snow and ice, some people wonder how this will affect our water supplies. And currently, our reservoirs are filled to about 70% of capacity, which is about 10 percentage points below the level they should be at. It should not be any cause for too much concern. The meltdown from the snow which the watershed has received should fill the gap easily. Our primary watershed is in the Catskills, and while that area didn't get as much snow as we did during the storm, total amounts for this winter have been about 40 inches so far. The snow and the cold winter we have had are driving up the price for heating oil. According to the Westchester County Department of Consumer Protection, this January the price was up 6.5 cents from a month earlier and 10.5 cents higher than in January of last year. This January's price hit a 5-year high at $1.17 per gallon.
Parents, children, and friends joined together to remember a special teacher last Tuesday at St. John and Paul Church at 3:30 p.m. Aileen Cushy, a teacher at Murray Avenue School for over 25 years, died December 15th at the Norris Cancer Center in her hometown of Los Angeles. Cushy had been away from Murray Avenue for 2 years as she battled her illness. Needless to say, she was anything but forgotten. Former students of the resource room teacher, specializing in teaching children with learning disabilities, clogged the phone lines at Murray Avenue School trying to get information on her memorial service. It is no wonder because Cushy kept in touch with her pupils after they moved on from Murray. Co-workers spoke of her ability to always motivate students to reach or exceed their potential. Murray Avenue plans to set up a book collection at its library, and family members are asking that you contribute to the collection in lieu of sending flowers. Ms. Cushy may no longer be with us, but she's alive in the hearts of many.
Area students gaining nuggets of knowledge. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray with the story.
A hands-on learning assignment at the Mamaroneck Avenue School proved to be interesting and motivating. The 5th grade class was given an opportunity to pan for gold. The physical education department with the social science teachers collaborated in creating this simulated gold panning expedition. They even had an assayer's office. The students quickly learned how difficult it is to find gold in riches. This simulation is tied in with the 5th graders' study of rocks and minerals and the westward expansion of the 19th century in our own United States of America.
An expansion proposal for Nichols Boatyard in the village of Mamaroneck. Think about it, and then come to a public hearing. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Colleen Carlson.
Mamaroneck's Harbor 2000 plan may have a new addition if Nichols Marina gets approval for a planned expansion. The Rushmore Avenue site wants to add a swimming pool and clubhouse to their facility. Now that now sells, maintains, and stores boats as well as renting docking slips. Local residents oppose the plan, citing increased traffic volume and potentially intoxicated drivers coming from the clubhouse. A consultant for the village, architect Frank Fish, quoted in the Daily Times, has submitted a resolution to the village recommending approval of the plan. He maintains impact on the local area could be minimal. A public hearing took place on Monday at 8 p.m. in Village Mall.
Mamaroneck Harbor should be a lot cleaner this spring and summer. A second pump-out station is nearly ready to be put into service in the harbor's West Basin. The hope is that it will make it more convenient for boaters to use the pump-out station instead of dumping raw sewage into the harbor. Boaters can use the station free of charge. The sewage is sent into village sewer lines. According to Harbor Master Jim Mancusi, the village is just waiting on the paperwork from the state to permit the pump's operation. The pump cost about $7,000 and was paid for by a grant from the state under the Clean Water Act. A pump-out station in the East Basin has been in operation for 3 years. It should all add up to a cleaner Mamaroneck Harbor. Alyssha?
Well, we're on the last week of a rather historic month, weather-wise at least. Few will forget the blizzard of '96, but let's look ahead to see what's in store for us this week from our very own weatherman on Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, Ed Muir.
Well, our little fling with spring is over as temperatures go back to typical January levels. Whatever snow didn't melt last week should stick around as our temperatures slide back into the 30s. The trailing feature of our weekend rainstorm is a pretty strong cold front, which is ushering in a pretty good dose of Canadian air, which initially dropped our temperatures about 20 degrees or so. But luckily, it was modified from what it did in the Midwest, where they saw wind chill values as low as 80 degrees below zero. So whatever our forecast looks like this week, it's going to feel comparatively relatively warmer. So the 5-day forecast looks something like this. Monday, partly cloudy, high of about 30 degrees. A little bit milder on Tuesday, 34 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Chance of rain or snow on Wednesday, depending on the temperatures, but call for a little bit above freezing, high of about 35. We drop back into the low 30s for Thursday under partly cloudy skies, but we end up the week on a sunny note, high of 34 degrees. So already it's been a pretty crazy winter. Heavy snow, then heavy rain, cold and then warmth. But even though we saw a little bit of flooding because of our rain and warmth last week, it's good that we got a little bit of the melting out of the way instead of leaving it till the spring, because if we would leave all this melting till the last minute, we may have a little reenactment of the Noah's Ark. So you may want to comfort yourself with that thought as you bail out your basement. So till next time, for Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Ed Muir. Enjoy the weather.
The call is out from the Mamaroneck Village Snow Angels program. You ask, what's a snow angel? That's a volunteer who's willing to shovel snow for an area residents who are unable to do so, the elderly or the invalid. If you would like to sprout some wings and be a snow angel, contact the Mamaroneck Village Department of Human Resources at 777-7715. That's 777-7715. It's time for our restaurant report. Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joan Brescia went to a new restaurant on the Post Road at an old location. What was Casey's for a long time became J.B. Tipton's, and now it's called the Sea Grill.
The style of cooking is very, very different. Brian, could you tell us a little bit about the spice, the kind of cooking that you do here?
This is kind of like a real New World cuisine that we're doing. That was pretty much started down in South Miami. Chef Alan Susser, he's an adventure of Miami, and he was really like one of the first ones to go ahead and mix the Oriental with the Asian and the Caribbean and the Northern African cuisines, and pretty much just not being afraid to mix up what you want to put on the plates, and just trying to be respectful to the regions that you're representing.
Where do you get your fishes from? They're absolutely delicious.
We get a lot of it flown in from different areas. The tuna we get flown in from off of Hawaii. The mahi-mahi's coming in from the Keys right now. The sword is strawberry sword from off the Carolinas, and we deal with a lot of Maine seafood. Like all of our lobsters and our scallops are from up by the Cape in Maine.
I understand you're expanding a bit, doing things for charity. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Rosemary?
Sure. We're going to be doing a special charity function and dinner for my sister's house, which is a home for battered women. And that'll be in February?
It's going to be in March, actually. We don't have the exact date set yet. It's probably going to be around the 4th or the 6th of March. And it's a really, really good organization for women that really need to get out of the house and have a place to go and not feel that they have nowhere to go. And,
so community conscious. Also, are you doing any catering at this point?
Yes, we have an off-premise catering campaign that we're putting together now, and it's a real specialized catering kind of thing that we're doing. It's in-house, gourmet, and we provide everybody for it, the wait staff, bartenders, maitre d', whatever have you.
This sounds very European. Were you trained in Europe by any chance, Brian? Did you go to cooking school in Europe?
Well, I did an apprenticeship in Switzerland and one in France, and Rosemary also went over and trained for the wines over there also.
In these icy, slushy days of winter, it may be worthwhile to pause and take in a few driving tips. For more, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Colleen Carlson.
It's winter, the most treacherous time of the year to be on the roads. With all the snowstorms we've endured these last few months, experts have some important tips for us. Experts agree one of the first things one should do is to just slow down. Speed should depend on the road conditions. A severe storm could reduce safe speeds on a major highway to single digits. Four-wheel drivers aren't excluded. One should also allow enough room between you and the other cars, says Isa Marinaro, owner of the Formula One driving school in Mamaroneck. If you lose control, you'll need the room to brake. And speaking of braking, you'll want to stop gradually by softly pumping the pedal so as not to lock them up, which could cause skidding. And if you do skid, steer into it. Don't fight it. You have a better chance of keeping control. And lastly, your eyes can't see everything, especially the black ice. So by following all these tips, one can diminish their chances of an accident greatly.
And that's it for another edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this news program, and you would like to see it again, you can.
This program is aired weekdays at around 1 p.m. and again at 7 p.m. on LMC-TV Channel 14. Not just that, during the day you can call up Studio 2 at 381-0131. That's 381-0131, and ask to see this week's news program. The crew at LMC-TV will put your request into action at the first available time period, which often is only a matter of minutes.
The number to call during the day is 381-0131, and after 4 p.m. call 698-6808 and ask LMC-TV if you can see the news show at a time that's convenient just for you.
This program is an all-volunteer effort by your neighbors, and you might want to help us out. It's fun and a great give back to the community. Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios in Mamaroneck High School. They're located on the Palmer Avenue side of Mamaroneck, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going here around 7 p.m. If you're more interested in the production and editing side, stop by Friday afternoons after 4 p.m. We can use your help Thursday or Friday.
If you have any comments or suggestions for us, please send them to us at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alyssha Miro.
And I'm Roger Norham. We'll see you next time, and have a great week. And remember, Groundhog Day is just around the corner.
Early spring?
We hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Hey, yeah, Ed, come on the set.
A green light on the post road for the Keeler Avenue traffic signal at the Harrison Cutoff.
Mamaroneck Village takes another bite out of fast food.
Conservation Committee disbanded.
Crime statistics and a robbery at Holy Trinity.
More details on Trump's Island and the MTA refund.
Making music with a Larchmont record producer.
These stories and more, plus an update on area storm damage on this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. Welcome to this edition of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Alyssha Miro. Our top story. It's taken a tragedy in 4.5 years to get a traffic light at Keeler Avenue and Boston Post Road. Residents had urged the Department of Transportation to install a traffic light at the busy intersection since 1991, when teenager Karen Petrello was killed by a drunk driver. Plans for the installation are being hammered out between the Department of Transportation and a contractor for a spring unveiling. Many residents who have been waiting with bated breath will believe it when they see it. There is concern that the light should definitely be installed by the fall when the use of Daniel Warren School, which is close to the intersection, begins, as well as the grand opening of Continental View condominiums. Both will increase traffic in the area, and without a light, this spells danger. We will keep you updated on this stop-and-go story.
Metro North commuters should hang on to their January commutation tickets if they'd like to get a 25% refund. And there is good news for those people who bought a weekly pass for the week of the blizzard, too. Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme with an update.
Metro North trains are operating normally again, but now it's time for a refund. We already reported on the refunds last week, and here are some of the details. Metro North will refund some weekly and monthly ticket holders. Commuters with a January commutation ticket will be given a 25% refund on a monthly ticket in March. For Larchmont and Mamaroneck commuters, the monthly commutation ticket should cost about $106. There are two ways to obtain the discount. If you always buy your ticket at the ticket office, you will get the discount by presenting your January monthly pass to the ticket agent when you buy your March ticket. If you get your ticket through the mail as part of the Railroad's Check It program, the 25% will be automatically deducted. Commuters with a weekly pass for the week of the storm will be given one free weekly ticket during the period January 27th through March 1st. But you do have to present your weekly pass for the week of the blizzard. That was January 6th through 12th. The plan to refund commuters ran into some opposition from the Commuter Council and Advisory Board. The council members think that the railroad should not be handing out the discounts, as Metro North is operating under a tight budget. And another charge that the discount is too generous, considering that train service improved on most lines during the week of the blizzard. But according to Metro North's spokesman Dan Brucker, the railroad will go ahead with the discounts.
It's official. Fast food has to slow down on Mamaroneck Avenue. The Board of Trustees in the village voted to restrict the number of fast food restaurants and takeout places, saying no new ones can open up any closer than 200 feet from one that's already open. The purpose is not to keep businesses out, but to diversify the business makeup on Mamaroneck Avenue.
Just passed a law that limited any kind of restaurant or facility that sells food within 200 feet of each other on the same side of the street. And we've had problems over the years with loitering and littering that has basically come from these types of stores. So we did impose a moratorium about a year ago, a 6-month moratorium where we were working on it, and then we imposed another 6-month moratorium until we came up with a solution, and we think we have one. And we are hoping that it's going to work.
Mamaroneck Mayor Joe Lanza appeared on the new monthly LMC-TV program hosted by Alice Bloom called A Town and Villages Too. Besides Mayor Lanza, Larchmont Mayor Cheryl Louie and Town Supervisor Elaine Price also explain what's happening in the tri-municipal area that concerns you. A program well worth watching, and you can call LMC-TV to find out when it will be on the air again. That's called A Town and Villages Too. Alyssha?
The saga of Abu the pit bull continues. Abu's been moved to the Bronx. Details from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Glenna Gray.
Abu, the pit bull that was accused of mauling 2 dogs, has been sent to the Bronx. The dog's owner, Sally Williams, and the village reached an agreement which requires that Abu never set foot again in Mamaroneck. The Westchester Shore Humane Society housed and fought for the canine's life. The society's president, Nina Ryan, was pleased that the ordeal was over and that Ms. Williams agreed to pay a $2,000 bill which Abu incurred while at the society's facilities.
The controversy over the decision by cable operator TCI to dump the county-wide public access channel continues. Channel 8 as a county-wide public access channel will be history as of Thursday, February 1st on this cable system. And that move has prompted at least one person to fight TCI in court. The story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood.
Glendora, the host and producer of a TV show that appears on a system-wide public access channel, had recently asked U.S. District Judge William Connor to issue a temporary restraining order against TCI. However, Judge Connor refused to block TCI's plans to eliminate one of its public access channels. As of February 1st, TCI plans to eliminate Channel 8 as a system-wide public access channel. A system-wide public access channel simply means that the channel airs the same show simultaneously on all 17 stations of its system. However, when a news station has enough voltage for TCI to receive it, TCI is required by law to carry that station. So, as of February 1st, TCI is moving the program guide from Channel 19 to Channel 8. Local producers may still air their programs on public access channels, but these channels may not be a system-wide public access channel. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm Kathryn Caywood.
In an effort to streamline environmental functions, Mamaroneck Town's Conservation Advisory Commission, whose main function in recent years has been to oversee the town's conservation areas, will be disbanded. The commission, which consisted of 4 members, Luis Perez, Ruth Merson, Martha Kaufman, and Fran Snedeker, represented the town of Mamaroneck and both the village of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. Therefore, the decision to eliminate it was made by all 3 municipalities. Mamaroneck Town Supervisor Elaine Price told the commission of its plan in a memo 2 weeks ago. The decision to disband was also influenced by the loss of state financial support. To compensate for the loss of the commission, the town's environmental coordinator, Ava Bauca, will assume a greater role, and the Coastal Zone Management Commission and Life or Local Involvement for the Environment will take on additional responsibilities.
No honor among these thieves who robbed the poor box. 2 men from the Bronx have been arrested for a theft Wednesday afternoon, January 17th, from Most Holy Trinity Church on the Boston Post Road. They robbed about $10 in coins from an offerings container. The offerings box is where those lighting votive candles put donations before lighting the candle. One of the men, 43-year-old Ramon Caro, was arrested and immediately hospitalized at the Westchester County Medical Center in Valhalla. He's being treated for drug withdrawal. The other man, arrested 24-year-old Luis Colon, is being held at the county jail on $10,000 bail. The pastor of Holy Trinity, Father Joseph Irwin, is quoted in the Daily Times saying, "There was one worshiper in the church at the time of the theft, and that afterwards the burglars took the coins, they roamed through the church and into the choir loft, and then fled." The men were apprehended on Library Lane and Mount Pleasant Avenue after Mamaroneck Village Police got their description.
Crime statistics in the village of Mamaroneck have been released for the first 11 months of 1995. The results, 1994 versus 1995, still show the village as a safe place to live, with drops in assault, larceny, and auto theft. However, an increase in robberies from 17 to 19 and burglaries from 79 to 82 may cause concern, especially when the incidence of armed robberies has doubled. Arrests for open liquor containers rose significantly, but there were no arrests for homicide, rape, or criminal possession of a controlled substance. Increased public awareness and alert patrols are steps to ensure our safety. To keep up our record of safe streets, please be sure to take a bite out of crime.
Local police lieutenant retires his badge. For more, we turn to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy.
Lieutenant Michael Nardelli has retired from the Town Mamaroneck Police Department. Nardelli worked as a patrol officer, detective, and sergeant before he became lieutenant 3 years ago. Nardelli was the patrol division lieutenant for the day tour, responsible for discipline, scheduling, patrol division, training, and equipment and vehicle maintenance. He is a 26-year veteran of the police force. Lieutenant Nardelli has seen many changes in technology throughout his years on the police force. such as computerized fingerprints, computerized records, and an emergency 911 system that automatically displays the caller's address. Nardelli says that over the years, the crimes have remained the same. Burglaries and robberies are the most popular crimes in this area. Drug use, however, has worsened tremendously. Despite this, the town of Mamaroneck remains a safe place to live, with few murders, rapes, or other serious crimes that happen each year. Nardelli's retirement will give him more time to spend with his wife Margaret and his son and 4 daughters. The town of Mamaroneck will miss Lieutenant Michael Nardelli's police work. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I am Sharon Levy.
If you have anything to say about a proposed expansion of services at Nichols Boatyard on Rushmore Avenue in Orienta, there will be a public hearing on the matter in Mamaroneck Village Hall on February 15th. That's the day after Valentine's Day. Nichols Marine wants to add a swimming pool and clubhouse to the Boatyard property.
Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sven Oehme takes a look at how the blizzard of '96 and the rainstorms a week later affected our water supplies.
The recent meltdown has caused a pretty dramatic change in our reservoir levels. Last week's report I mentioned that our reservoirs were filled to about 70% of capacity. That was about 10 percentage points below the level where they should have been. This week the reservoir system is filled to about 88% of capacity, and that is about the average for this time. That is above the average for this time of the year. According to John Hawk, manager of Westchester Joint Waterworks, the bad weather didn't have much of an immediate impact on the waterworks operations. A couple of more water main breaks caused by the cold weather were reported, and because of the snow cover, they were a bit more difficult to repair. Mr. Hawk asked residents to also dig out fire hydrants during the next snowstorm. And here's another word on the hydrants. Mamaroneck Village has just passed a law which makes it illegal for property owners to landscape the area around fire hydrants with shrubs, hedges, flowers, and other plants or structures which obstruct access to the hydrant. The law stipulates that the area within 5 feet around a hydrant has to be open. Trees now have to be planted 10 feet away from a hydrant. Anyone not complying with the new law in Mamaroneck Village faces fines or even jail time.
Sometime this week, Suburban Karting of Mamaroneck is expected to give its side of the story to a complaint that during the blizzard of '96 last month, Suburban trucked in snow from another community while it was being paid by the village of Mamaroneck to remove the snow from village streets. The village apparently found this out by accident and is waiting to hear the formal response to the charge from Suburban Karting before it reveals any more details. The allegedly non-Mamaroneck snow was dumped at Harbor Island Park, and Suburban Karting was paid $4,000 for 2 days' work of snow removal, January 6th and January 7th.
Still tallying up the bill for the blizzard of '96 and its aftermath. The story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Sharon Levy.
The wind whipped torrents of the rain turned the snow into just a bad memory. The storm knocked down lots of trees, branches, and power lines. In Larchmont Manor near Oak Avenue, about 600 homes went without power. Con Edison crews were held overnight. Waves crashed into the bathhouse at Manor Beach in Larchmont. High tides, however, did not flood nearby Beach Avenue. Wind and failing electricity set off burglar alarms, often ringing 15 to 20 times in a row. Quite a number of trees were destroyed by the severe winds in Mamaroneck town. For Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I am Sharon Levy.
Well, we'll see if we have an early spring come this Friday, February 2nd, after these big storms. Some rumblings over David's Island, now Trump's Island off New Rochelle. The story from Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Kathryn Caywood.
Now that Donald Trump and the city of New Rochelle have agreed on a price for David's Island, about 15 different local, state, and federal agencies must approve his plans. However, many local residents do not approve of Trump's plans for no public access to the island. Robert Funicello, the attorney for Save David's Island for Citizens, states that a project without public access is bad and does not comply with the state's coastal zone management plan. Marjorie Eilert's Einstein, the spokesperson for the New York Secretary of State, has said that they too are concerned about the lack of public access. On the other hand, New Rochelle's Mayor Timmy Doney has said that lack of public access does not bother New Rochelle city officials. It seems that Trump is counting on public officials to relinquish public access to David's Island in exchange for unspoiled views of Long Island Sound. The closest thing to public access is Trump's offer to build a public boat launch at Neptune Park beside his proposed townhouses. But here's the bottom line. Trump has said that if public access were demanded, he would have absolutely no interest in the David Island project.
A big-time record production company in our own backyard. With an interview, here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter Joan Brescia.
Today on the Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News, I'm speaking with Joe Ferry, resident of Larchmont, independent record producer, 4-time Grammy nominee, teacher, songwriter, and yes, background vocalist. Joe, thank you for letting me join you here today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Obviously, you wear a lot of hats, and the one which you're wearing right now is quite nice. Which one are you wearing tonight? What are you doing in the loft tonight?
Tonight we're recording an album of traditional anonymous music for an album project that I'm actually doing under my own steam, without any record company backing it. And we're going to be recording Scarborough Affair tonight, which is a traditional song, and my friend Britt Savage, who's a top session singer in New York City, and she sings on a lot of radio and TV jingles and album dates and stuff like that. She's sitting over there reading the newspaper.
We'll get to hear from her later, I hope.
And she's going to be singing on the track tonight. It's an album of various artists, and tonight is Britt's turn.
That's great. That's interesting. And you'll just shop it around after you do this, or how does that work, or hook up with a label after this?
I'll just probably bring it into Shawnee, the label that I work for, and see if they want to put it out. And if it's not something that they want to do, I have lots of other labels that I work for. One of them will want to put it out for sure.
Now, how long have you been working for Shawnee?
5 years.
That's great. In the music industry, isn't that a long time to be working for one particular company, or am I off base with that?
Record producers, when they get on staff at a label like I'm at Shawnee, usually they do stay there for quite a while. Some of the legendary producers like Jerry Wexler and Alan Toussaint have long relationships with labels, very long relationships, yeah.
So how did you get here, Joe? Can you tell us? I know this is going to be cutting it short, really, but...
Kraft Island, you made it right.
Wise guy, too. Jokester. You can add that to your biography.
Well, in case the music doesn't work out, I'll have something to fall back on.
I know I should keep my day job. Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about your background.
My background? Well, I just grew up in a very musical household. My father and mother were always playing Harry Belafonte records and Tony Bennett records and stuff like that. And I have an uncle, my Uncle Richie, who's actually, we call him Uncle Bean, and he's sort of like my godfather, my best uncle, my best pal kind of a thing. Aside from my father, those two guys, I'm very close to both of them. He was always playing jazz records. And so I got into Miles Davis and Jerry Mulligan, Bird and Charlie Parker, people like that through my Uncle Bean. And then my cousin Tommy was a doo-wop singer and guitar player, and he lived upstairs, and he taught me my first lessons on guitar and gave me my first chords and stuff like that. So I was just surrounded by music from my earliest memories, and the three of them, Tommy, my father, and Uncle Bean, instilled in me on appreciation and love for music.
Oh, that's wonderful. And now you're able to give that back to students. I understand you're a teacher at Purchase?
Yeah, I actually teach a music business course for the continuing education division at Purchase College. And I also teach private students for the music division, the music composition department, and for the jazz department as well. And they both those departments have lots of different students that want to study with me. So I'm really busy with the school, and it's a lot of fun to be working with all these kids. They're great kids, all of them.
They keep you going.
Yeah, they do.
Great. Talk a little bit about Louisiana Hurricane. You've been nominated for a Grammy on that record?
No, actually, I was nominated for the Grammy for the Scatterlights.
And here we go, Scatterlights. Here you go. Actual CD covers, wonderful.
Yeah, so my 4th Grammy nomination was for the Scatterlights album, High Bop Ska, which was done here right in this room. And the Bluesiana Hurricane album with Rufus Thomas, it's the 4th installment of my Bluesiana CD series on Shawnee Records, which is the label I work for. And we just cut all of these records live right here in the studio. No frills, warts and all.
Yeah.
And we just have a party and have a great time.
It sounds wonderful. Were you able to work with some of your idols now that you're at this position?
Oh yeah, I mean every day I'm working with my idols. Rufus, Dr. John, Cornell Dupree. My goodness gracious, there's so many of them. Of course, the Scatterlights, who are my all-time idols.
Now, the Scatterlights, I've heard this name here and there. Can you tell us just a little bit about the kind of music that they perform?
They perform ska, and the Scatterlights are a group of musicians from Kingston, Jamaica. The band's been together for 31 years, and they are pretty much the Scatterlights and some other key players in Kingston in the early 60s were the ones who pretty much came up with the reggae beat, the rock steady beat, and the ska beat.
The originals, huh?
They are the originals, yeah. They're the greatest musicians in the world.
That sounds great. Joe, I wish you continued success. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
And I hope this one is just as successful as the others. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Want to showcase your talent? For more information on an upcoming talent show, we tune into Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News reporter Jamie Stein.
Now it's time to show off your talent. The Village of Mamaroneck Council of the Arts will be sponsoring its 2nd annual talent show, scheduled for February 29th, 1996 at the Emlyn Theater in Mamaroneck at 7:30 p.m. This event will help fund Mamaroneck Village's free summer concert at Harbor Island Park. Interested in performing? Please contact Sandy McBride at 381-0502 by February 6th. For Larchmont Community News, I'm Jamie Stein.
The new 6th graders at the Hommock School in the fall will be facing a different curriculum from the 6th graders at Chatsworth Avenue and Central Schools. A task force subcommittee at Hommock's will soon present a clearer picture of what the 6th grade curriculum will look like. Broad-based questions will be presented. The answer will be developed through an interdisciplinary approach. The question, for example, what has caused pollution levels to drop in Long Island Sound? The science, mathematics, social studies, and art teachers will work with the students to answer this question. And now an update on the snow days. All Mamaroneck schools will be in session on Monday, April 1st, Tuesday, April 2nd, Monday, April 8th, and Friday, May 24th. If we have another snow day, April 3rd will also be used.
And that's it for another edition of Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News. In case you missed any portion of this news program and would like to see it again, you can.
This program is aired weekdays at around 1 p.m. and again at 7 p.m. on LMC-TV, Channel 14. Not just that, during the day you can call up Studio 2 at 381-0131. That's 381-0131, and ask to see this week's news program. The crew at LMC-TV will put your request into action at the first available time period, which often is only a matter of minutes.
The number to call during the day is 381-0131, and after 4 p.m. call 698-6808. And ask LMC-TV if you can see the news show at a time that's convenient just for you.
This program is an all-volunteer effort by your neighbors, and you might want to help us out. It's fun and a great give back to the community. Drop by and check us out almost any Thursday night in the LMC-TV studios. They're located on the Palmer Avenue side of Mamaroneck High School, just up the stairs from Walter's Hot Dog Stand. We get things going around 7 p.m. If you're more interested in the production and editing, stop by Thursday night and also on Friday afternoons after 4 p.m. Come either day.
If you have any comments or suggestions, please send them to us at Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News, care of LMC-TV, 1 Library Lane, Mamaroneck, 10543.
Thanks for watching Larchmont-Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Alyssha Miro.
And I'm Roger Norum. We'll see you next time, and just think, spring is only 7 weeks away.
Maybe sooner.
All right.